it would have been nice. I mean, I didn't think we deserved to lose. I think a draw would have been fairer out of it, but it would have been nice to send people on the way with a bit more positivity, so fairly quickly people will be looking forward to next season rather than saying what a terrible one this has been. And it has been by and large, but it's done now. So we've got the things in place, which I think are quite exciting the way things are shaping up. And it's all just down to the recruitment and development now. So I think it's positive. I really do. There was absolutely nothing on today as far as we were concerned. But a good performance would have been nice to see the season out.
Yeah, I think the last 4 home games, just looking down the list, from Harrogate on the 31st of March, Swindon, Grimsby, Northampton, they've all been nothing games really. Promotion finished for us in as I mentioned earlier, sort of early March. So we've known for some time that the season was sort of drifting into nothing, and it's difficult. But the general conversation seems to be that it's been disastrous. Well, no, disastrous is going down. It's been disappointing. There's no getting away from that. It's been mediocre. It's been dull, lackluster, but disastrous may be a little bit too far away. We've not hit the expectations that we would have for Tranmere in the 4th division of English football. That's fair, but we're not on our own. Swindon Town, Doncaster Rovers, who come down from League One last season, have had a terrible season. I think they finished in 18th place. They were one of the favourites to go up this season. So we've not got a divine right to get promoted. It has to be earned, and unfortunately, the pieces of the jigsaw didn't come together. And for whatever reason, that's been debated many times, and we have to now look and hope that we're in a better position coming the end of July, at the beginning of August, than we were in 2022. So it was an afterthought today, the game. In all honesty, the news of Nigel Adkins seems to have picked everyone up. For whatever your thoughts are on the selection of the manager, get behind him now. That's the way I think it should be.
Well, let's move on, because I need to get both of your thoughts on the restructuring of the management team over the last few days. I want to start with you on this first, Craig, and then Pete can give his opinion. But you texted me on Thursday night. You were a very angry man. Your stepdad texted me on Thursday night. He was a very angry man with what was going on. Has the announcement of Nigel Adkins as the technical director changed your mood and changed your opinion on whether you feel Tranmere can challenge for those top 7 places next year? Because certainly it appears the Tranmere fan base have warmed to the idea of what's happening, because since he was announced, about 700 season tickets have been shifted ahead of tonight's deadline, which is quite a remarkable amount. We're talking about 25% of the season tickets have been sold since Nigel Adkins was announced as technical director. So what's your mood like now compared to what it was on Thursday night?
It's better. I'll be brutally honest, and I'm not going to lie. I was in work on Thursday whenever they announced the indoors, and I'm in a WhatsApp group with some Tranmere friends from the Marquee, and someone posted a link. Anyway, I won't go into too much details. I thought it was a joke, first of all, that Dawes was actually appointed. Not a joke that they appointed him, but it was an actual, blag account or whatever it was. So I was very, very shocked. I'll be completely honest. Especially when I think, you look at the names that have been banded around, most of them by fans, which were always very unrealistic in my view. But no, I think all the pieces of the jigsaw, so to speak, fitting together. They brought in Neil Dans as well as assistant to Ian Dawes, and of course they've announced Nigel Adkins now. So I'm more enthusiastic moving forward. In terms of next season, you said about hopes of top 7. Well, that all depends on the recruitment and how well that is all the case. Which we don't know. So no, listen, I'm the world's worst for an overreaction probably. But no, any Tranmere manager that gets the gig, I'll back them 100%, and give them a go, give them all a go.
I was more surprised than anything else when it came through. I mean, I thought, like you, Craig, there's these spoof things people keep putting out purporting to be the club ones, and you read it and think, ho. And I was actually in the supermarket, and I thought, I think I swore when I saw it. And it was real surprise when I went out and sat in the car and read the statement from Palias. I had to read it several times, but then you start picking out lines like, he's a young and up and coming coach, and there's, we're on the point of appointing a director of football. So I'm sure those 3 posts were already filled at that point, or all but signed off, because you wouldn't have appointed a young upcoming coach looking for a mentor and all the rest of it without having that end piecing, the most important piece of the jigsaw there. So for whatever reason, they split them up and announced them in 3 goes. But once I'd read the statement a couple of times, I did think there was more to come. I thought there was going to be more behind it, and we would end up with a director of football. I had Rafa Benitez in my head. I'm glad it isn't, but for some reason, that name was being bandied about. This one makes more sense. I mean, he is local. I think his parents still live locally. I presume that's part of his decision making. Maybe he's moving back up. Don't know what his tenure's got, his length of contract is, or Ian Dawes for that matter. They've just been announced as being in situ. And particularly with Dance coming in, I'm assuming that's because it'll give Parky more room, more flexibility to look at the youth again, which is his background. So I presume that's working on the development thing, and maybe having a director of football takes some time off Mark Palias himself, which might be connected to looking at the ground move and building the new tens and all the rest of it, because that's going to be hugely time consuming. So if you've got someone who's just focused on the football side of it, it does have that knock-on effect on other posts. I think it'll be successful. I really do.